Let's kick this pig, he says. That sounds cruel. What did that pig ever do to this podcast?
Comes from one of the greatest movies ever, Down Periscope.
It contained bacon.
Yes.
Oh, the pig or the periscope? What?
Pick the pig to get the bacon. I don't know. It's like a pork pinata. You just start whacking the pig. Never mind. We're already off topic.
Good cold open, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Pork pinata.
I don't know.
Yes. Whoever had the over-under for 30 seconds before we're off target.
Okay. It is the 11th of March, 2021. The galaxy's on fire. I'm Commander Jay Antrax, and this is the Loose Screws Podcast. It's on. It's happening. All right. With me tonight is Commander Chig. How are you today?
Evening. And isn't the galaxy always kind of on fire? I mean, that's kind of what stars are, aren't they? Just
Plasma.
saying.
Plasma, giant balls of plasma.
Plasma. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Wonderful. Devo Looter, welcome back.
Hey, thanks. I took the week off last week. That's the way I'm going to put it. But yeah, nice to be back.
Commander Nurgle, how are you?
Greetings and salutations. Doing good.
And NL Hat.
It's a very fashionable hat, I promise.
It's a good hat.
It's also functional.
Form and function. Form and function.
Functional in what way?
It
Have you
keeps his
been
head
listening
warm.
to my character? It keeps my head warm. It blocks the sun. Keeps the rain off.
So it's not like the hat from Orgasmo where, never mind. Carry on.
It's also a conversation piece because it's very fashionable.
Yes, and you take good care of it. I agree. Sorry I asked. I'm a dummy.
Yeah, that was really bad. Well, here we are. Here we find ourselves. Some of us still out in the black. Some of us back in the bubble. All of us having a grand old time, I presume. What's been shaken so for you this week, Chig?
I don't know, the usual CQC and Babylon 5. I'm over 11,000 kills in CQC now, and I've been just playing a lot of that in game. That's it. All right.
That's it.
I'm an idiot.
It's gonna be the Chig check-in each week. So Chig, anything besides CQC, and then you can just go nope, and we move on.
Nope. Yep. Carry on.
Devo, haven't seen you in a minute. How's it going?
Yeah.
What you been up to?
Fantastic, both in game and out of game. Out of game, I've never mentioned it on this show, but basically at the same time that I started doing this show, I started producing my own podcast that's wrestling related. I won't promote it here, but if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can.
Oh, do it.
All right, fine. So it's called Turnbuckle Boogie, and if you like the sound of my nasally drone, and like pro wrestling, or at least the history of it, then check that out. But so I do obviously this show tonight, and then I'll be doing that one tomorrow. And in game, I bought a Viper because of some peer pressure, I'll say.
I'm not sorry.
No, but I did use NL Hate's build. He sent me a build. I just put it out in the ship build section of our Discord. Like, hey, I'm gonna buy one of these things. Who has a build? I'll make it as long as it's not stupid. If it has some sort of practical purpose. And he gave me a build that was basically a completely stripped down, engineered racing ship. And I went, I don't have a racing ship, so I did buy it. Yeah. And it is very fast. But I blew up in it like minutes after owning it. That's how fast it was that I couldn't control it.
What did you hit?
I hit a ravine wall. It came out of nowhere.
Damn
I
planet.
swear, officer.
That's right. So,
Planet
but,
just
I
jumped
wasn't
out
there
and
a
bit
minute
me.
ago.
but yeah, I put that ship together, and yeah, it's fun. Now I got to figure out a reason to race.
You don't need a reason.
Yeah.
Need
I was
for
gonna
Well,
say
I
that,
speed,
yeah.
man.
I need an opponent. I can't just be flying around through ravines by myself.
Well, peer pressure me into
The
putting one together. I'll come race with you.
Oh, thanks.
Your opponent
First,
is
you'll
the
need to
clock,
buy
baby.
You'll need to buy a PlayStation 4.
Hold on. Are those on Amazon? They on Prime?
I hear they're easier to find than PS5, so at least you got that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's the end of my story.
And then he finished talking. See, because it was a story anyway.
I think I heard my phone ringing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, that was just Devo turn laughing. Sorry.
Oh,
It was a terrible joke.
You
Because
fumbled it at the finish line,
I
man.
fumbled everything.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
yes. Off air, it was discussed that my laugh is your ringtone.
I know, yes.
I didn't realize.
The fact it has to be explained means that it's even far lamer than the joke I'll tell later.
I didn't realize my laugh brought people so much joy, but I'm glad it does.
Yes. All right.
super duper. Nurgle, what have you been up to this past week?
I know work's been fairly crazy, but I've been spending most of my time in the game, switching back and forth between working a lot on the BGS and having recently had a lot of fun with a frag cannon vulture build, decided to build a frag cannon mamba for jousting. So yeah, I still got to do all the engineering on it, but I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Cool. NL Hate, Hat, Lorinda, whichever.
Horrenda.
What's up, man? Horinda?
Well, I made it back from the black, and I was handing out all of my exploration data for the BGS. I ended up at the wrong station when I signed out one evening. The next day when I got on, I was attempting to leave the station very rapidly, and I smashed into the inside of the station at 700 meters a second and lost like a 500 million credits worth of cartographic data.
Jesus.
F.
So
In the chat.
How did you smash into the station?
well, I was trying to leave.
No.
Under
Have you
high
ever seen him
boost.
fly?
Under
I'll tell you
boost.
what, this would have never happened if
places
you had
to be.
an auto docker.
I did, but I was
Oh.
ignoring it, trying to leave faster.
That's even better.
The auto
For
doc
those
was like,
listening-
no, wait, I got this.
Patience is a virtue, and I didn't have it that time.
That I don't blame you. If there's a cue to get out, like, get out of my way, nerds. I'm out of here.
Wow.
But I
Fabulous.
took Commander Black Sails Sovereign, Black Flag Sovereign, out to the Guardian sites and helped him get his FSD. And I gathered some Guardian technology components, because you can never have enough of those.
You can't.
Now I'm trying to rescue some Imperial citizens and get access to some interesting ships.
Fabulous.
Yay.
What
Yay.
have you been up to this week, Mr. Trax?
Oh, bit of the same. Actually, I'm currently in a burning station. I'm currently in Lave, actually, and doing that thing. But previous to that, had been playing in the CGs and basically just enjoying all the combat and my combat ships that I missed dearly while I was away. Let's see, we refitted the Corvette with plasma up on top and used that to battle through the CG and did quite well. And then came in, did some BGS bounty hunting in my FDL and just very much enjoying things. And then the events of today caused me to dig out the old Anaconda that was a jumper, an exploration conda, and strip it all out and load it up with some cargo and some cabins. So we're rescuing Lavians right now. So I guess securing my reputation with Lave Radio faction over here.
Yeah.
Just
Be
send
great
them
if
another
they're-
song.
But are you saving the brandy?
There's no brandy on offer right now. They're really just concerned with the humans and some of their personal effects.
To heck with the people,
is
save the brandy.
A real thing.
I don't know if I'd want to transport alcohol through a burning station.
Yeah,
to tell you the
that
truth.
could be
I have
bad.
tons of heat sinks. Actually, let's look at their commodities market.
Unavailable.
Nope. They will buy encrypted correspondence,
All right.
but they will not sell anything.
The world is literally on fire, but we'll buy your secrets.
And they're like, oh man, tell me about your secrets. That's fun. Yes, that's the story. I had only ever done one of these rescue missions one time before, and now I'm getting the balance of like, you actually don't want it to be all passenger cabins. You want to have some cargo on here, and then you don't want to, like, at first I made the mistake of I loaded up with a bunch of missions from the rescue ship, which are all for like escape pods and stuff, not realizing that the passengers occupy slots in your mission board. So I filled the mission board, went to Lave Station, collected some things, and then landed on the pad only to find that I could accept no passengers, and then took off and left with 160 empty seats.
You flew in, said, sorry, everybody, I'm leaving.
I flew in. I took a bunch of stuff out of the air and then flew away.
Hi guys, I'm
160
here.
empty seats.
That's actually pretty damn funny.
It is.
Anyway, that's not what's happening anymore because I figured it out. You gotta, you balance it. You leave some room for enough missions to fill up your cabins. And anyway, it's pretty good. Yeah. The materials are low grade. If you want rep, obviously it's like almost the best thing you can do. And I'm finding that the money is not bad if you can do it in a big ship like this. A Type 7 turns out to be the fifth highest passenger capacity ship you can get, and that's not particularly expensive. So,
How many
pretty good.
credits per run, roughly?
Well, I haven't really been clocking it, but I've been able to you can fill your mission board every time, and there's enough missions that I'm not having to take anything under 200 million per mission.
200 million per mission?
No, sorry, 200,000. What did I say? 200 million?
I'm like, sorry, I gotta go, guys. I was gonna go run some passenger missions.
200,000. Some of them up over 300,000 per mission. Some of those are for like 4 black boxes, and you might clear 4 or 5. I've only got like 18 or 20 tons of cargo in here. So I might clear 3 or 4 of those missions per run, and then load up a bunch of passengers, which are each worth, 220,000. And I can fit 160 passengers plus that cargo in the Anaconda right now. And yeah, it's pretty good.
I
What do you
remember
think is
doing
fun?
those back in the day. I started them in my Python, then I went on to the Anaconda, but man, that was well over a year ago. And I'm a way different pilot now than I was then. I'd like to go run some of those, see how quick I can do them.
It's been a while since I've attempted to do one that I almost forget. Like, what do you got to do? Fire off a heat sink before you land and right before you split? Or
I'm finding that I'm spending about 2 heat sinks while my limpets are at work. I have a class 5A limpet controller, so it's pretty good and it's doing its thing. I got 3 limpets out. By the time it's filled my cargo and I set down to land, I've fired off probably 2 heat sinks. I try to fire one right before I land, which helps. You're going to overheat pretty much right as you're about touching off to leave again. So you fire another one off there. You could get away with 1 engineered heat sink probably, and it's not like you're going to take enough damage to really be in trouble. But I went ahead and fitted 2 because who cares?
but But your limpets are what? There's like stuff in the atmosphere there that's floating around that it can pick up.
Yeah, there's some low grade manufactured materials, and then there's a bunch of like rescue stuff, like escape pods and personal effects and wreckage components and things like this that are all desired. And those you could get missions from the rescue ship. So you get passengers from the station, missions for salvage materials from the rescue ship, and just keep flipping them. Flipping one, flipping the other, flipping one, flipping the other. So basically, I grab 3 limpets each trip and spend them. My cargo gets filled up. I fill the rest of the space with passengers, and then just got to remember to start adding missions as I whittle the what am I calling them? Like the salvage components and stuff down.
I'd be interested in
those missions at some point.
I'd be interested in seeing your build if you want to share it to the ship build channel here after the show.
Absolutely can. Yeah.
I like to have a ship for every sort of activity if I could. This is one where I'm kind of lacking. I think I had one of the cruise ships. I forget, the big one. But and I disassembled it because I thought it was stupid. It's like, this ship is ugly.
Pretty much all you need to do is just grab, your Anaconda and take out hull reinforcements and anything like that, and put passenger cabins, and you're good to go. Well, and then make sure you've got a heat sink launcher, which you should have anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So I've got, it had a class 5 prismatic shield on it. I left that. I added a class 5 collector limpet and one of the size 4 slots, and I think like some of the other little slots have cargo, and then everything else, I took out everything else and put in passenger cabins. So there's like 160 passengers that I can carry. The Corvette ends up having the highest maximum passenger count, and then the Cutter, and then the Anaconda. They're all within like 2 or 3 of each other. And then Beluga is a little lower than that. And then the Type 7 out of frickin' nowhere shows up with more person capacity than even a Type 9.
Oh, it's a flying box. What do you expect?
Yeah, they're just shaped better for it, I guess. So anyway, that's the story. Sure, I will definitely share that. Make sure I don't forget, because I'll just call it up on Coriolis right now.
Word.
Oh, there we go. I can fit 7 more exactly. Bam, see? I filled it. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, that's the story. Oh, I did make an interesting discovery that I put at the top of the show notes here because I wanted to mention it. I have been ranting a little bit in months past about how on your fleet carrier, unless you bought the outfitting service and bought stock that included E-rated versions of core modules, you couldn't take them off of ships if you didn't have something to replace them with. So when I was trying to strip down a ship to build a different one, I had to actually go out to a station and buy some E-rated modules and then transfer stuff back to my fleet carrier before I could do that. And I thought that is maddeningly stupid. And I understand code-wise why it had to be that way, but some facility must be included for this because that is so brain dead.
Was that the case?
Yeah. I was told that I couldn't, I took an FDL apart to build a Mamba, and I was told that I couldn't take off my core components off of the FDL because I didn't have any component to replace it with. And it was a core component. You can't take it out. And I was like, well, damn. And I had to fly over to wherever I was, essentially take them off at that station where they would be automatically replaced with E-rated versions.
Right.
And then fly back and just transfer the modules. So that's what I had to do. Well, I was just stripping the ship down. And actually, I also built an FAS this week for kicks that's made for ramming.
All right.
Anyway, so I'm going to try to find something that FAS is good for that I actually like it for. So we're going to try this. But anyway, while I was doing that, I accidentally tried to take off a module that I didn't have a replacement for. And I realized that it showed me the warning, this needs to be replaced with an E-rated module. But then it let me proceed. So I went and checked it. I made sure I didn't have any E-rated modules, and then I continued to check. So it seems that a stealth update has happened without us being told about it, because that is no longer the case. Fleet carriers now, without the outfitting service, which my carrier does not have, and without any stock, of course, you can now replace any core module with an E-rated module, and it just simply charges you for it. Your carrier gets it and bills you. And I checked it out. I actually generated six E frameshift drives and was charged, whatever the amount is for that. And they appeared in my storage as I kept replacing an E-rated with another E-rated by trying to store it.
That you know what?
Basically, I'd say store that module. Yeah,
I think that solves the mystery of why the console people weren't showing Horizons anymore. They added this to the code, and then it broke all of that on the consoles. Is my guess, because that's usually what happens. They change anything, something else gets broken. So that's
and
cool.
of course, I have no
that.
idea. I have no idea when this happened. I would love if somebody does know, because I sure as hell never saw this in any patch notes. But
what happened?
And we actually haven't had any patch. I wonder if this could have been, if this was just a server side change. If that's all it required, then it could have been in one of those little, 58 megabyte patches we get once in a while.
Were you maxed on modules at the time, and these E-rated push you above, or did these things just end up?
I did not test that.
Okay.
Actually. I did not test that. I tested that I did it, and I saw that my credit balance went down, and then I went into storage and I saw the E-rated module there. Like, I generated 6 of them. I just did it. I kept storing the FSD, and it just kept making a new E-rated, and then there were 4 or 5 of them sitting there in my storage, and I sold them and was back up to the credit balance that I started with. So my carrier now has the ability to generate E-rated core modules. But I didn't fill my storage. That would be the next test, I guess. If I fill my storage, what will it do? Of course, by then I'll have modules in my storage that I could happily swap for. So we'll see. I don't know. I could check that next time. I'm not at the carrier now.
All right. You were going to say something on that, Devo?
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if it was always that way and you just didn't realize it, just you were going off of what somebody said, because I've never had this happen, but although I've not paid attention to it, I guess.
No, I did this. I was told that you can't take that FSD off of your FDL because you don't have an E-rated module and you don't have any in storage.
Mm.
So
this guy loves E-rated stuff.
E for excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had made that discovery, and I had ranted about it several times in Discord, and probably had brought it up on the podcast before. So now it has been corrected, and I'm pleased to say that this little bit of this great injustice to the galaxy has been resolved. That's it. Hey, Distant Screws 2. Anybody still out there in the void?
Yeah. The 2 people who aren't here tonight.
Yeah, I was just sort of noticing that as I said it. I know Dubs and Data, who aren't here on the program, are still out, and they have, I believe tonight, arrived at the void. And I guess I don't have any stories to tell about that. If Discord chatter that I see flying by is to be believed, it turns out that there's a lot of discovered stars out there, probably because of how low the star density is, I guess. So that's the only news I have.
Yeah, I think the only thing
near the edge, everything is discovered.
Yeah. I think the only thing unusual that happened to them today was they jumped the carrier out from underneath Teflon, and he had to catch up.
Oh no! Was he on it like it was a bug, or did he?
No. He was out flying around, and Dubs jumped without announcing it. But he was in his exploration ship, so it wasn't that big a deal.
Oh, that's good. Cool. Well, let's talk about the faction.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
I can't help but notice how long and complicated the standing orders have gotten the past couple of days.
Yeah. You think? Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when we all spend, or not all, but a large portion of us spend 6 weeks away from our BGS, so we're not maintaining anything. Then we come back and go straight into an expansion. So yeah, we've got it's actually there's a lot of things that are kind of in the zone of things we're concerned about. There's only a few that are burning problems. We're in a lot better shape than that massive list would seem to indicate.
Mm-hmm.
But we've still got 11, well now 10 systems in the local area that are at some stage in expansion that's going to shake everything up as we go along. There's some retreats going on out there. Some we're going to let happen. Some we're going to try to stop. I think the next 10-ish days before our expansion goes off, that list of BGS issues in the orders is probably not going to shrink very much.
Good
Terrible.
grief.
Yeah. But it's going
to... missions is fun, man.
Well, and, the two that happen to be burning issues tonight, and if you want to know what those are, it's all in the Standing Orders channel, can be done with missions or those factions that we're trying to boost up to get out of the danger zone. Both control systems somewhere else, so there's bounty hunting possibilities. And so those are the easy ones to handle. Some of the other ones that it's some dinky little faction that doesn't own anything anywhere, and we've got to try to pull them up. And missions are your only choice because they don't own a station, they don't control a system somewhere. Those are the ones that can be really a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing that Splooey is still our reigning king of influence, then Single Malt Scotty, and then what Ed Themis I've been going, but is it Ed the MAS or Ed the Moss? How do you pronounce his name?
Ed Themis, I do believe.
Ed Themis. That's how I've always pronounced it in my head, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, Ed the Moz. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
And now that list only shows influence work they have done for Loose Screws. It doesn't show all the stuff they've done for the BGS.
Against other people.
Yes, tweaking other stations, the other orders.
I did talk to Scotty the other night, and he was explaining to me some of his ships, and I said, "What do you got this ship for?" And he goes, "Oh, this ship is just for taking missions and killing myself." Oh, okay.
Thank you for flying Nurgle Airlines.
It took me a minute to realize, well, why would you want to do that? I see.
Thank you for flying Crash Airlines.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
I've done my share of rubbing on stations to get passengers upset. So.
Hey, what you do in your time is fine by me. I'm not going to judge.
We just fly out the slot and caress the outside of the station until everybody wants to get off. Then we show them the airlock.
Sounds about right. I like it.
Stupid work phone. Sorry, I'm sure I don't know if you guys can shut up. I forgot to turn it
a little bit. All good, man. All good. Hey, so I think that brings us up to the in-game news.
Hooray!
Devo, would you love to take that away?
Boy, would I. The funny thing is I don't know, a couple days ago, whenever it was, I sent you a message saying hey, do you want help with the news? Because I know how you like to delegate some responsibilities. And then secretly I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make up a bunch of news stories because I thought all the news stories this week were kind of weak. But
did you know?
And then it got spicy.
Yeah, then it spiced up in the past couple of days. So, the news cycle starts for us on Friday, and last Friday, Jupiter Rochester was sentenced to life imprisonment for his part in the conspiracy to destroy Starship One. But the only interesting part of the entire GalNet news story was that his supposed manifesto about corporate lifestyle is gaining popularity amongst all of his loser followers. So chances are in the future you might still see that corporate state just without his carcass at the top of it.
Or they break him out.
Yeah, or they break him out.
I still insist they're going to break him out.
You think it's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's ever actually going to prison.
I think he's already there.
I think that there is a piece of man flesh in his cell, and it doesn't matter whose face is on it because no one's going to see his face
You
for the
did
rest
not
of his
see
natural
man
life.
flesh during
That's
this
entirely
show.
possible, too.
Man flesh.
What is the term man flesh from? Is it Battlefield Earth?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Like, yeah, you think some of this news is dry, but like, hell, that first one, like, if you read about the state of his imprisonment, I'm like, man, nobody could be in that cell, and they could be fake feeding someone that's not there, and just, scribbling on a note that the prisoner was fed, even though nobody put any food in the slot because nobody's in there.
I forgot how homoerotic Lord of the Rings was. Man flesh.
Okay.
Bro, that orc can smell it from miles away. Someone's got salty balls.
Meat back on the menu.
In other news,
Oh.
on Monday, Archon Delaine stood up and declared that he wants to be taken seriously as a political, a political power, and the Kumo Crew along with it. So the news stories that follow this will probably put the kibosh on that, but this was one of the weaker stories of the week, that the Pirate King, who ironically does look like John Travolta from Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, real bad.
Yeah. Has anybody even seen that movie? It's the worst.
Great book. Horrible, horrible movie.
Is it a great book?
Yes.
I didn't realize you're such an L. Ron Hubbard fan.
I brought him up during
That makes
Chig
one of
Chat
us.
time.
Moving on Tuesday, the Thargoid conflict was discussed at the Galactic Summit. More on that in a second. Basically, what they were trying to put together is the Serius Treaty that unfortunately was only backed by Archon Delaine, the Alliance, and the Independents, and the Federation and Empire were stalling on it. But 2 stories later, I'll tell you more on that. And this one I'm going to need help with, because one of the GalNet stories this week is labeled Galactic Mysteries, the Adamastor, and this concerns the ghost ship that came about back in Halloween this past year. And I was busy doing something else, so I did not hear any of the logs. I know there was a series of puzzles and clues and things. I don't know much about it. Who took part in that, if at all?
Well, we were away, weren't we, by then? No, wait.
No,
it's Halloween.
I'm sorry. This was way back at Halloween. So I was around, and it being in the States, some of this stuff is pretty cleaned up by the time we get off of work. But I am sometimes able to watch streams and stuff. It depends on what's going on with me at work that day. But so I watched some of this live and some of it kind of after the fact. So it was basically kind of a ghost story situation. Right. A bunch of logs end up being found eventually. There's a bit of code breaking that happens. And it's a pretty well voice acted thing. It's worth going to look up. It was fun. But it involves possibly the first Thargoid contact.
I think that's actually confirmed.
Happening a long time ago. Yeah.
200 years. Yeah, so 200 years ago, apparently this the Adamastor, this ship set sail and ended up running into the very first Thargoids. And that's about the extent of it. And then, of course, the ship returned to the Chukchan system, completely dead. Like there was some sort of fight that happened and everybody's dead.
The ghost ship didn't technically find any Thargoids. The ground crew found barnacle sites
Correct.
and by proxy ran into interceptors. One of those crashed, and they recovered something, and then once they had that something on the Adamastor, I believe
something that we think is probably a probe.
But the story after that, we're going to come back to that.
Yeah, I think the way it sounded to me was that they found a Thargoid probe, and it like drove them all insane with its like sounds and whatever EM signals it was producing and fun stuff like that. So,
right, and this ghost ship is still out in the Chukchan system. If anybody wants to go check it out, I think that this post didn't really give a whole lot of new information. I think it's just there as a reminder that hey, go check this out.
It was a bit of
Morse code.
Yeah. So what happened was there was Morse code in an
Listening
image that was shared on Twitter on that day, and then they did a stream that included another bit of Morse code. Hey, you want to pipe in?
It is a part of trying to stir up more information about people looking for the Adamastor, because we haven't found the second and third listening post from it. There's still missing pieces of that story. Other than the Hesperus, which we've now moved to, which is a mega ship that is still missing.
Sister ship.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. All right, carrying on. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. All right. So then here's all the news for today. The Neo-Marlinists have struck again and have set off bombs.
Dun, dun, dun.
We need that as a drop. They set off bombs at 9 different, spaceports, but it's all the capital cities. So Dawes Hub and Achenar System, Donaldson and Alioth, Dublin Citadel at the Gateway System, Hans Gateway and Nanoman, Edo Orbital in Rhea, Lave Station, which is where you're at, in Lave, Li Ching Jiao. This will be fun, me pronouncing all these things. In Seoul.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
Parkinson Dock in the Eotin system. Shajin Market in the Kamadinu system. Anyway, they've all had bombs blow up there thanks to the buttholes that are the NMLA.
The buttholes.
Way to go, buttholes.
Way to go. They seem like pretty grumpy cats. They don't care who they blow up. They're just anarchists at this point. It started out, they were like very anti-imperial. Now they're just taking the piss out of everyone.
Do you remember who killed the 9 martyrs?
I think I'm pretty cloudy on this at this point.
No, the 9 martyrs that they detonated the 9 bombs for were killed by the NMLA. They bombed their own people. They killed them. Now they're bombing more people because they bombed their own people.
So they're geniuses to boot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. This is starting to make sense.
No, this is scary. This is scary.
We can now rescue people from these burning stations and all that stuff, but is there any other changes in those systems? Like, it would be cool if like it was super high security, and if you tried to land on any other stations in that system, you had to like stop outside and submit to a scan, and if security was in the system and you were any kind of criminal activity, you'd be attacked more rapidly. I don't know, just way higher security.
I will tell you that Lave is in a BGS state of pirate attack right now. And just in the 5 million meter trip between the rescue ship and Lave Station, at least half the time, I get that kind of interdiction where they basically like I drop in and then they pop in right after me, like, you know. So
System
There's
security
interdictors
does?
flying around here.
What noise
I
is that?
haven't looked at it.
Okay.
I'm interjecting you. Blah.
Yeah, if it was pirates, they'd go arg, but you went.
I don't know if it's system security or if it's, I don't know, like pirate act. I don't know. I think like I'm trying to remember. I guess I shouldn't say because I don't know. I can't remember for sure like what exactly the message in system chat was, but they dropped in and gave me the like. It must have been pirates because it was one of those like you're now kind of BS.
How do you make?
And I'm like, yeah, right. Like you could take down my exploration anaconda with your warship, puny mortals.
Oh God! As long as they got a cool name.
Like what?
All right, if the
like
next one
buttholes in
that
space.
grabs me, I'll grab the name and I'll let you know what dumb thing they said to me when they basically threatened to do a suicide by police in front of this rescue ship.
Yeah, they always have fun names. It's either like it's always something really extravagant and that doesn't make any sense, or it's Steve. Like, oh no, not Steve again.
Oh no,
Did you
it's
see that
Bob.
screen capture? Did you guys see? This is from a while ago, but somebody posted a screen capture of a pirate that had interdicted them to scan their cargo and or something like that, and it was Dexter Morgan, and the ship name was Dark Passenger.
Nice. No, I didn't see that.
good.
That's awesome for sure.
A+.
Well, wrapping up the news, also today, because of the terrorist bombings, the Galactic Summit is officially over, so I could stop reading news about it. Now, apparently, the only thing that, as far as I could tell after the past few weeks, the only thing that was going to come out of it was the Serius Treaty, which was, all the groups coming together over how to deal with Thargoids, but that's put on hold. So the last 3 weeks was a big fat nothing. That's the news.
Nothing.
So does it feel interesting that as soon as they start going, yeah, maybe we should talk about this Thargoid business and maybe pool our money together and turn up the heat on this, and then pop, 9 stations go off?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't have my tinfoil hat on, so I don't see it. But you know what I mean? Like,
Your
I
mind's
can't.
being erased by the signals.
So does that mean the Neo-Marlinists are distracting us away from worrying about Thargoids? Is that what you're saying? I'm so confused.
I guess
No.
for this to have any weight, it would have to be that they're somehow in cahoots with it. But what I'm thinking about is that Imperial Black site where they're all being tortured. I don't know. They have their Thargoid enzyme stuff. I don't know. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You're not
I got
nearly.
I got nowhere to stick this pin in. I've just got a lot of string and a couple of pins.
You've got nowhere enough tin hadium going on here. You've got to crank
lay it
this
on
up
me.
to 11.
Go, brother.
So
We can get
remember,
Mark Shadow in here.
remember, all predictions guaranteed wrong or your money back. So still insist Jupiter Rochester is either never going to spend a minute in that prison or he's going to get busted out, one of the two. And we're going to come to find out at some point way down the road that Jupiter Rochester is funding the Neo-Marlinists because he wants to create chaos so he can try to use his money and his corporate backing to take over things. He's trying to destabilize.
This sounds like a QAnon podcast.
I told you we got to crank this up to 11.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's move it up one more. He was actually infested by a Thargoid at one point, and that's why he wants to crank it up to 11 for his alien overlords.
He's a Thargoid lover.
Yes.
Right. He's got a half Thargoid baby with his Thargoid mama.
He tried to drift with a Thargoid probe.
And they know where Raxla is. No good bastards.
Exactly. They're keeping Raxla from us. We're going all the way to 13 on this one. We're just ratcheting up the
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, in the future, if I start doing these new segments regularly, which, by the way, I'll be more prepared and spice it up a little. But if these stories of the week are boring, I'm just going to make up stuff where I'm going to give you the Alex Jones version of the news.
I am a gorilla.
What?
No, that.
All right.
Too many weird pauses on this show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super. All right, buddy. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. All right. Hey, what that was wonderful in-game news. Thanks, Devo.
I feel some deep sarcasm tucked in there.
No. You did great.
Wow, thanks, buddy.
You managed to mix in Alex Jones and QAnon in your Galactic News in 3307. Oh my God.
It's the socialist galactic people, interdimensional
but if you buy my pills,
vampires.
Yeah. But if you buy my pills.
If you buy my perineum cream.
Edmund Mahan is a lizard person.
I thought David Braben was. Now I'm even more confused.
No, he's a chipmunk person. Have you seen his cheeks?
Way down.
Yeah,
that's
From
right.
Top to bottom. Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, Chig.
Yeah.
Should we switch to Chig chat?
Yeah, no? I'd love to follow that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yo, it's Chig chat. Durper, Chig cat. Durper, what a cheese at. Durper, Chig chat. Durper, what a cheese at. Chig chat. What a cheese at. Chig chat.
Special thanks to new-ish to the community and the Discord and an old gaming friend of mine, Rabbi Bob, for snipping out. Well, I guess probably taking the clip that I snipped out of Ty doing the rap, the hip hop Chig chat, and actually putting some music to it. Fabulous work.
Incredible.
Derpa. Good God.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
too much. And I didn't think it was ever going to end. I was getting ready. Like, does it ever stop? Oh, that was good stuff. Oh, thanks, Rabbi. You're the best. That's good stuff. All right. Last week's Chig. Now I want to rap.
The Chig chat.
Last week I asked about things that could be remade series because I'm watching Babylon 5, which I'm still working my way through. Still think it could use a remake, but a lot of people put stuff in Chig chat, and then it kind of devolved into people debating Stargate as one that should be remade or not remade, and which seasons were good and which seasons were bad and which series was good and bad. I'm just going to say this: Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate Universe. I liked them all. I don't care. They were all very entertaining. The movie was good with Kurt Russell.
Stargate shows?
Stargates. Yep. Well, Stargate, the movie, and then there was Stargate, and that was with Kurt Russell and can't think of Dopey dude's name. But that was a pretty good movie. And then SG-1 was okay, but it's like I'm not big into the whole Egyptian stuff. So the first
isn't that like the whole thing?
Kind of. Well, that's where it all comes from, but it all kind of varies off of that eventually. But it's entertaining. I mean, MacGyver was the guy in the first show who took like Kurt Russell's place, replaced his
great
character.
Too. He
was super damn good. So I enjoyed SG-1 all the seasons, even when it got weird towards the end. Atlantis, which overlapped with it, I enjoyed Atlantis, and I liked Universe. A lot of people really hack on Universe, but Universe was like I don't know, it turned into almost a Star Trek kind of version of the show, which I found entertaining. It was cool, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Were they all like stuck on a deep space ship
or on a planet? Or on the spaceship?
No, it was like a spaceship that was
That was
going
Universe.
from system.
That was Universe.
Okay, that's That's the only one I watched like more than half an episode of, for real.
You call yourself a nerd.
Look, I will look this up for you, and I will put it in Chig chat. There is an SG-1 episode where they're stuck in a time loop that is comedy gold. It is the best episode of the entire series.
There were a lot. They had a few episodes that were that way, where they threw the comedy spin on it, and they were really good.
I've never seen one of these. Honestly, this is all news to me that there was one outside of SG-1, but I do have a fun Stargate story. I had a job in high school at a movie theater, and in 4 years, the only movie we ever found someone doing a Pee Wee Herman was in Stargate. And it's not even erotic.
What? Okay.
It's not even erotic, so I don't know why this guy was cracking the carrot.
Cracking the carrot. Massaging the man meat.
Man flesh.
The deep in breath, I think, is a key part of that quote.
No. All right. So this week's Chig Chat, I'm going off of this week. Randomly in the middle of the week, we added another channel to the Loose Screws Discord called Hates Culinary Channel, and I'm like, I like food. And looked, and all of a sudden we've got a channel where people are putting recipes and just talking about food. So I decided this week's Chig Chat, I want to know what kind of crazy thing you like to eat that other people look at you strange when you eat or get grossed out, maybe. But, I mean, like people eat like ketchup on mac and cheese, that's not all that bizarre. I've done that for a while. I'll say I hate ketchup, but keep in mind, I still eat ketchup. I just don't like ketchup on things because once ketchup is on it, that's all I taste. So if French fries are a bit starchy and not very good, I'm dipping them in ketchup because the ketchup would be better than a plain fry. But I digress away from that. I'm talking more weird stuff. Like one time I was training in a new employee, and I'm like, I saw he brought a bag lunch. I'm like, okay, go ahead, just eat your lunch. And, I'm taking care of some work. And all of a sudden I hear him crunching on something. I think he's eating an apple or something and not thinking anything of it. Then all of a sudden I'm smelling green pepper. And I turn and he was just eating a green pepper like an apple. And that was just
you can do that.
Bizarre to me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I was like, all right. It was just weird. Or like I like to dip my Totino's pizza rolls in just good old fashioned yellow mustard, some French mustard. Just dip them in that.
Oh, yeah.
Super tasty.
Totino's pizza rolls. I didn't realize you were 14.
Oh my God, pizza rolls they're a food group, man. Jesus Christ.
They're a food
what's
group.
another one? Okay, here's one that I still do to this day, and I know what they're made of, so I shouldn't do this. But anytime I go to cook hot dogs, I always eat one raw. I like a raw hot dog.
Oh God, no.
No.
You go raw dog?
Nope.
No.
A raw dog?
Raw dog, baby.
No.
But I'm looking for strange things to eat. Like my buddy's father-in-law eats on plain white bread, just a single open-faced sandwich, which is mayonnaise and grape jelly. I'm like, what the hell is that? I tried it.
Nope.
It wasn't that bad. I'll eat anything though. But it's not as bad as you think. But give me some weird combinations or just weird shit you eat that you maybe don't even want to admit to eating.
Has anyone ever had a peanut butter and jelly and bacon sandwich?
Fucking A, right?
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I put bacon on everything.
I've also seen a version of it with jalapeno sand.
Perfect.
So I'll give you. I don't necessarily have any strange foods, but am I the only person who's on the West Coast out here on the show?
Yep, I believe so.
So we have In-N-Out Burger, and I imagine you guys probably don't. Then,
fortunately, no.
That would be.
I've had In-N-Out Burger.
Did you say fortunately?
I said unfortunately. I've had In-N-Out Burger.
I was about ready to start a fight. In-N-Out Burger is awesome, but one of the things that they have on the supposed secret menu, if you ask for it, is animal style fries, which their fries on their own are not that interesting. But if you ask for them animal style, they give them to you with grilled onions, cheese, and like the Thousand Island, the secret sauce or whatever it is.
Mm.
And it is a goddamn treat. I can't imagine people on the other side of the country understanding that, but it's like American poutine. It's
That
delicious.
sounds
That
good to
sounds
me, man.
amazing,
Sign me
yeah.
up. Yeah, nothing about that sounded bad. Not
All
one
right,
thing.
then I have no examples of bad food that I like.
Oh,
You had me at grilled onions.
Get me a grilled.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and pickles is good on a sandwich.
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's super uncommon, but like a dill pickles and peanut butter on a sandwich is really, really good.
Huh,
Really
I've
good.
never had pickles with peanut butter. I do peanut butter and American cheese on toast, but
Okay.
that shouldn't surprise
and
anybody.
the other one that I don't think this is going to sound bad to anybody, but on a waffle, like a big like Belgian waffle,
Yeah.
the best way to do it is with peanut butter and bacon and maple syrup. It is actually the only time
I could see
care
that.
to eat maple syrup at all.
Yes.
And for
I
some
can see
reason, the
that,
peanut butter
definitely.
in there and the bacon bringing the salt into it, that offsets the sweetness, because I'm not into the too sweet stuff going on with maple syrup. But plus, I'll pick out like a real maple syrup because I'm from New England and I don't mind if the sweet things taste bitter. But anyway, yeah, that's good.
Right on. Nice. Hate?
Boudin. I'm
say
a
poutine?
big fan of boudin.
What is
Not Canadian
boudin?
poutine,
Mm.
boudin.
Boudin
French
sausage.
style blood sausage.
Just plain?
Eek.
Well, you can get boudin rolls if you're in the South,
Okay.
which will have been wrapped in seasoned rice and then deep fried. Or you can get stuffed ones
We're
that'll include
we're getting better.
jalapenos and cheese in it.
Mm.
I'd give it a go. Hell yeah. I'd eat that. We need weirder, like spam. You guys like spam?
No.
On its own.
No.
On its own.
When I was a
Look,
kid,
Yeah, on its own.
I'll add to
That's not that
Chig's
weird.
things in mustard. Fried corn nuggets dipped in mustard. Mm.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Damn,
I
that's
can
some good
put
stuff.
mustard on just about anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's
absolutely.
not a weird food, but for me, Conecuh sausage. But Conecuh is a local product, comes from Conecuh, Alabama. And, oh, God, that stuff is incredible. Of course, it's like, 48% fat. It'll kill you.
The higher the fat content, the better.
you can try it once.
But you'll die with a smile on your face, especially if you grill that stuff up along with some grilled onions, put it on a hot dog bun. Mm.
Man. Yeah, I was hoping
Yeah.
for some weird stuff. All I'm hearing is really, really good stuff. All right. You guys
Yeah, I
come
wonder
to
if,
Chig Chat or the culinary channel and give us some try to gross me out. I dare you.
Oh,
Like, it has-
you haven't
No,
heard of
it
my
has to be
famous?
something you've eaten, though. It can't be. You can't just make up.
Oh, you mean you're not gonna try my-
bird on a cracker?
Yeah, my peanut butter and pubic hair sandwich. Yum yum.
Only if there's some maple syrup on it.
Yeah, would you like some floss?
Yeah. Oh God. All right.
I wonder if all the people who are foreign to America who listen to the show are like, these fat Americans are disgusting. They put peanut butter on everything.
They wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's truth to that.
We have our moments.
Few and far between.
But we have them.
Yeah.
Christ, play that Chig Chat music on the way out.
We need an
Gonna end the
outro
show
to
with
go
that
with
one?
that intro.
Oh my God.
Need another
It's
good laugh.
got to have its own outro.
Okay. All right.
A big belch.
The terrible beatboxing. I came unglued.
I was dying.
Oh,
I
Jesus
had to turn off my
Christ.
mic. All right. Moving on.
Well. Moving on. So, there was the Tuesday stream from FDev included Art and Bruce, and they basically just had time to kind of mess around and talk and answer questions. Somebody was flying cargo in the CG, I think, and basically just watching chat, watching everybody pester them with questions. And a few things did kind of get answered, some of them a little softer than others, but there was some stuff that got peeled out here. And so I thought we'd just go down and see if any of this surprised you or if anybody has any comments about it. right? Sounds good? Okay.
Sounds
Hooray.
good.
And begin. So, I and several other people were repeatedly asking this question in various forms, trying to get it answered. And basically, the way I phrased it that eventually seemed to get Art's attention was, did you choose, or basically I was saying, are the ship's pilot seats and multi-crew seats going to be the limit for what those ships can carry as far as players? Because if we're carting people around like physical multi-crew, I kind of was thinking and hoping that we'd be able to carry a bigger crew than just what would fit in the multi-crew seats. But the discussion was going forward. So I ended up asking it like 5 times and highlighting the message and stuff. So eventually I said, do we have like that many seats? Did you choose the Crusader because it has 3 seats? And eventually Art said, yes, the Crusader was chosen because it has 3 seats. So I'm taking that as soft confirmation that the seat count in a ship is the seat count in Odyssey. So Cobra can carry 2, not 4, this kind of thing.
It's a shame that they're not going to get around sooner than later ship interiors, because it would be great to, walk into a galley or sit down in the kitchen or something. It's not like you need to do the entire ship. And even if you came up with a generic sort of, here's the crew quarters, and then this door, which stays closed, goes to the, the FSD, it would be nice to have a place to sit.
That's why they didn't do ship interiors, because there would be more seats in your ship at that point, and they'd have to allow you to carry more passengers.
Well,
probably right.
It makes sense that the multi-crew seats would be the only like crash couch style. Like, you got to be in these, because if you're in the galley when we go FSD, you're gonna your brains are gonna blow out or whatever. At least they can word it that way.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I understand.
I would have liked the idea, though, of being able to carry more people. Landing a Type 7 and the back opens up and 80 of your friends run out would have been cool.
That'd be great.
I don't know.
Here's a question too. If it ever does come to be that they do come up with my idea, the minimal ship interiors, and you can go from one ship via some sort of docking port from ship to ship, do the ships have to go butt to butt?
Requiem for a Dream.
That's right. Ass to ass.
It's a great reference. Wow, we derailed on the first one of his points.
Sorry, buddy.
I was
that great.
Well, I was thinking. I was thinking. I was thinking with your soft ship interiors where some doors are closed and others aren't. But if you've got your cutting tool, if a door is closed, you could cut a giant man-sized penis hole in it and then walk into that room anyway, couldn't you?
Sure, if you're in the shape of a penis, I guess.
I mean, if it's in the shape of a penis, what can't you do?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to reel that back in.
Good grief. Yeah, my mind is getting worse. Move on.
My question to them on that would be, okay, so the maximum people you can carry in one ship is 3.
Right.
If you're doing physical multi-crew, your maximum wing size is 4 people. So are you telling me the maximum number of people I can take on a ground mission is 3, or have you fixed multi-crew and wing working together?
I'm assuming they've fixed that.
So later on, I'll skip ahead, I guess, since you bring in that up, that he said that most of this is kind of said in passing, so I'm kind of taking it to be like, this is the way it is. But he said that when you're in a wing, you can board your wingmates' ships. You also have a granular control where you can turn off boarding permission, even for people who are in a wing. So you can turn on and off boarding permission, and you have to be in a wing to board other ships. 4 in a wing means you ought to be able to have 3 people plus the pilot of a ship. So I don't know. I would love for that. So if he misinterpreted my question, right, and just read the last part, yes, the Crusader was chosen because it had 3 seats and there were 3 of us. he misses the first part of the question, where what I'm really trying to get at is this other thing, right? So
Right.
because he didn't directly address that, so could be. Okay, so Odyssey
Don't
Alpha to
start
last.
laughing. You're going to kill me.
Well, I'm trying to wait. Does anybody else want to comment on anything? No? Okay, great.
Is that what those pauses are for? Because I'll start filling them in with, lowbrow humor.
No, just
Oh,
laugh.
geez.
Oh,
Yes,
only,
and laughter.
yeah, it's just, those are laughter pauses. This is actually this is a stand-up routine that I've been working on for a while. So you have to leave spots,
Am I right,
and
guys?
sometimes the joke does. Hey,
You need to
what's the deal with the Odyssey Alpha?
Am I right?
So you need a light you can turn on where it's applaud or laugh or
that's a good idea.
things. Then we know we start clapping.
So the NPC AI is supposed to be much improved from this very old fork we saw. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Of course, I didn't
I
get to
got
see
them
the.
hope so.
I didn't get to see the Twitch stream, so I had to follow up again with another content creator during the week to get the summary on it, and a lot of them touched on that. Yeah, this was an early alpha AI, and they expect it to be a lot better, and because that AI in that video was dumb. Bad.
You could see lots of spots of it. Somebody freaking out and appearing to dance and stuff like that for a second in the background.
I could almost swear, though, that during a lot of those conversations that he said at some point that they were recording some of that stuff just a couple weeks prior.
Yes, but they had a forked build that was a long ago that they were playing on, because they have to split it off and give them something. And we also got the impression on the stream that they would sometimes run into things not quite jiving the way they needed to, and they may have done parts of this on multiple different builds that were all old in some fashion or another. If that makes sense.
I kind of don't believe it.
I want to cry hearing that, because it just.
Which part don't you believe?
I think they used. I mean, I'm just assuming, but I feel like they probably used some more recent stuff, and that maybe they weren't expecting the criticism. Quite honestly, and I don't know that this gets talked about, but didn't some of those guys have shields and stuff? I guess if I had a shield over my suit, I wouldn't run and dive into cover either.
Okay. But
does that not make sense, though?
No, I understand what you're saying. You're saying maybe the AI is. I mean, they also said that the AI was giving them the smackdown. They had a hell of a time completing the mission, and they had to try several times and update their tactics.
Yeah,
and they were basically scaling down the skill level.
Well, yeah. I mean, the problem is that the sheer numbers, because there's just the two of them on the ground, and I mean, how many did you see? It looked like there was somewhere between 6 and 10 were. Yeah, we're rushing them, and they might be out in the open, but and there wasn't really a whole lot of things to hide behind, I guess, in that particular scenario. I don't know. I think the criticism is pretty harsh, and if they really do truly need to tighten it up or whatever, it doesn't make no difference to me. I'm fine with it how it was.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what befuddles me a little bit, and I'm not going to complain too much, but if they wanted to just show a mission and be a little bit safe, why wouldn't they have had their characters with the better gear and have the AI with really weaker gear, doing a low level mission? Then they could.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they did.
Yeah, I don't think
still.
Did the guy who was the tank, he wasn't even wearing that Cobra Commander helmet, was he? He wasn't wearing the combat thing. I didn't notice.
Bruce,
he was in the combat.
Was wearing the combat suit. Yeah, he had two primaries.
No, there's been so much griping about it, and I agree. It was a short little thing, and I think that they are just really bad at FPS too, and weren't really, utilizing too many tactics to do anything. I'd be curious, you can jump so far on a low gravity planet. jump on top of one of the roofs and get up high, and all of a sudden you've got the high ground like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're shooting down at all those NPCs and stuff like that, instead of the weird running thing just getting shot to hell as you're running away, and the ship parked as far away as possible and everything else. I know they were filming a trailer.
Had they been on the roof, the Goliath would have been shooting at him.
That's true too.
Well, why couldn't the ship shoot down the Goliath? They've got an escape ship. Yeah, Goliath could not stand a chance against a ship.
If you went into this thinking that you were going to see Titanfall 2 level, ground-based combat, you were going to be sorely disappointed. That's
not what it is.
No, it certainly isn't, and it's also there's a certain amount of forgiveness that I give certain games, because in this particular case they're doing something they've never done before. I'm willing to forgive certain hiccups,
right?
For the same reason I'm willing to forgive Bethesda every time something glitches in I don't know, a Skyrim or something like that.
You're just too nice of a guy, man. You need to be. You need to be. See, you're super precious.
Dad, you're the worst.
You're precious like Trax. You're not a dick like Dubs.
He's
not here to defend himself.
Dicks, am I right?
Dicks. More dick talk on the show. Did you skip the Odyssey Alpha to last 6 weeks thing?
I didn't really mean to. I was trying to follow the conversation. Yeah, Odyssey Alpha to last 6 weeks. I think that's like a unless something changes sort of situation. I don't remember the exact wording, but
But then is there a beta?
One thing I would say, I don't know.
Alpha then release? Because I mean, if it's just
so, here's my interpretation, because the question keeps getting asked, like, why is this called an alpha and not a beta? And so my guess at the answer is the thing that we've heard, that the alpha is going to have sort of feature deployments in chunks. So it will release and it will have some of the features, and then it will have, new things will be added the next week, and they're going to piece it together because they're using the alpha to refine things. They have everything basically in place, but they're refining things like the credits for bounties and the credits for payouts and what certain things should cost and what the mission should be worth. And, they want to play test it. And they're going to be doing that in phases. So I think that's why it's more called an alpha instead of everything's in there all at once. Okay, try to break it. It's a little bit more about play testing and bugs, and not just find the bugs, maybe.
But you'd put stuff out in chunks if you were play testing. You'd put it out as a big lump if you were adjusting values, because then you'd know if this part of the game was paying too much and this other part was paying too little. If you're not interacting cross, compartments, so to speak, how do you know if one's too high and one's too low?
I think what they're do. I think when they say compartments, what they'll do is they'll release okay, so we're gonna, when alpha opens, you're gonna have this type of mission available.
Yeah,
and we're gonna run that for a couple of days. And tune it, and then we're gonna introduce another type of mission, and then we'll cross tune both of them, and then we'll introduce a third type of mission.
Yeah, I'm totally with that. Now, if it was but they're talking, economy stuff, how much the missions pay and stuff like that. If you're not, comparing it to everything in the game at the same time, how do you know how those fit together?
Oh, but the rest of the game is still going to be there.
Each compartment, I don't know.
I figured they would stack, but essentially, yeah. Well, whatever. It wasn't my idea, man. Jeez. That's just my interpretation anyway. Nobody's told me that or anything, so it's my best guess right now, my working theory. So yes, more comments.
But my speculation on that though is, okay, so that alpha is going to be 6 weeks. That puts you to early mid-May for the alpha to run, and then is the game being released shortly after that? They take a couple of weeks to make tweaks, then we get an actual release, or is there going to be a beta? Now, is that going to be another 6 weeks, and now we're into July? I mean,
when's the
that's what I'm trying to speculate.
They
That's what
haven't
we
said.
don't know. They haven't said.
Well, didn't they say initially, like, hey, you should
It sounded like
PC
April or May.
players?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think that what they were referring to now is us having access to the alpha, not the game actually being released.
I can't wait for you guys to polish this game up so I can play it in November.
Yeah.
Asterisk.
I don't gotta I don't gotta worry
console.
about them balancing numbers with me. I just get to jump right in.
Woohoo!
Hooray!
Beautiful bug-free game. It'll be perfect by the time it gets console. It'll be great.
I
I'm
hope so.
excited. I'm ready to go. All right, next. What was the next thing you had?
The next thing seems to be, he said, for sure, rings do not cast shadows. when you're
Literally
down on the planet.
unplayable.
All right. How do I get my refund?
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a bummer for me, because I
Yeah.
want that kind of thing, right? And because what I'd heard about updates to the lighting engine, now I think really what we're meaning is updates to the, I don't know what you're called, if they're still called the same things in like 3D rendering and stuff, but basically like updates to the surfaces and how they reflect in the MIP maps and bump maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's really what's being changed. And the lighting engine itself, like we've seen, no, we aren't going to have the, multiple stars in a system that can both be the primary light source depending on how close you are.
Yeah.
Like that's a computationally too complex thing for them to keep the system requirements the same. That's not happening. So whatever changes are happening aren't quite as global as maybe I was imagining, and we're not getting things like that. So
They've refined what they
little bummer.
already had. Yeah. They've refined what they already had. They haven't extended it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of disappointing.
Plus, I wonder, like, do we even know? I'm not sure I've ever seen a picture or something like, this is what it looks like close to the surface of Saturn from behind the rings. How much light is really getting through? Do we even know as a race?
Oh, I'm sure
Well,
we do.
we have photography of the shadow that it casts on the clouds from space. So, I mean, we know it's casting a shadow.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how light refracts off of all the little, what probably looks like tiny particles from the ground. But you ain't going to find out.
Yeah. Too bad. So sad.
Yeah. Literally unplayable. Moving on.
So somebody asked about 0G stuff, and they said there is going to be no 0G at all in the game anyway. We're always going to have at mag boots or gravity or spin. So
which brings up an interesting question. So they've talked about salvage. I assume that there's only going to be salvage on a planetary surface then.
No.
Yeah.
You'll have mag boots.
But how are you going to go from ship to wreck?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure you don't have.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those mag boots were working in the dirt, right?
Without ship interiors, we can't be salvaging from ships in space anyway.
That planet
true.
had gravity.
That's true.
It's not high gravity or Earth.
Yeah,
gravity,
it was only like 0.3 or 0.4 gravity.
Depending on which section of the video you saw, it was 0.3 or 0.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, when you saw them jump, you could see that they could jump a good distance, and like when stuff fell,
you can hear their jetpack too.
Yeah, it was definitely the gravity there. But I mean, I think the only reason that they're forced to do the whole mag boots thing is because they've said that we can land on outposts as well as stations, and outposts don't have gravity. So I think that they're like, oh, we better do mag boots, and now that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That probably would be the only scenario that they're actually putting in the game where you could have 0G.
Yeah.
And so instead we'll just walk. We'll just have mag boots. So
that's so unfortunate.
It would be really fun, especially with like an eventual VR implementation, because I love the moving around with your hands is awesome in games that have done that.
But I mean, I'm just thinking like a mission on an outpost and somebody like kills the magnets or whatever or however gravity.
Oh, that's funny.
A small EMP
take
and everything starts floating. I have no idea.
They deferris all the metal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
3307, man.
That's like some X-Men level shit right there.
Well, that's two. I want to be able to
Magneto confirmed.
Isn't the Back to the Future hoverboard like work on the opposite side of magnets? Isn't that what? Nothing for
the
nothing.
The opposite side of magnets is just the other pole of a dipole, you jerk face.
No, they're unipolar magnets.
My feelings. I'm just saying, why don't we
magnets
have
are a
hoverboards?
figment of your imagination.
It's 3307.
Just saying, I want a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Me too.
Board. Okay. The question about where we can change suits and weapons and things, basically all the stuff that we carry with us, including the stuff that we can and can't drop. Because remember, we can lose the stuff in our backpack. We do not lose our weapons, our engineered suits, the suits that we buy, things like that will respawn with us. You can change your weapons and suits and stuff in your SRV or in your ship. So that's cool.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I wonder how many they're predicting everyone sort of own.
All of them.
40 per station.
40 per station.
I mean, seriously, like how many? Sorry.
Think of suits like ships now.
Oh, well, that's what I'm getting at is, I have my ship for conflict zones and I have my ship for PvP and I have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How many jobs are going to require how many suits? You know what I mean? How many suits am I going to end up owning? That's what I want to know.
Multiple.
Closet to confirm.
Yeah.
Closet to confirm.
That's what I'm assuming. I have no idea because we've seen a few different suits now and have heard of other possible things, but we haven't seen like the engineering interface on these suits yet. How many slots do they have? What are we adding to them? There's once again, it's just so many freaking questions for a game that was supposed to be out 4 months ago.
Oh yeah. All right. We can drive others. Yeah, we can drive other players' SRVs. I'm pretty sure we already knew this.
Yeah,
but for some reason that was a question that was asked and answered.
Grand Theft confirmed.
I already said we can board ships when in a wing, and you can turn on and off boarding for a ship you own. Frontline solutions. They talked a bit about this. Sounds like it is a CQC type thing, but I'm not sure how. I don't remember exactly how specific it is.
It's going to be PvP like every other first-person shooter.
Yeah, but like essentially, like it sounds to me like it's outside of universe.
I would think so.
Like the way CQC is.
Yeah, it's telepresence.
A laser tag park.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Good fun.
You're not pleased.
I'm excited. No, I'm excited.
Okay.
Apparently, though, I don't know, a random. It's still on topic. It's about Odyssey and stuff, but the CQC community has been putting together a list of suggested improvements that they want and all this stuff for CQC. Just ways to make it better.
Uh-huh.
And they put together a pretty extensive list that they went, and apparently the devs came back with asking if there were any higher cost ideas that they would have, rather than just a bunch of little fixes that CQC guys put forward. They actually asked if there were any other higher cost things. So that, to me, I am not getting excited about it. I didn't even go give an like you guys. All that did for me was like, well, at least they're still asking for input, and they must actually be thinking about wanting to improve CQC, even space CQC that we have now, which I like that. And reason I didn't get too excited about that is because I already had that feeling because of how many times they've done their little streams where they're playing CQC. If the community managers are playing CQC. It obviously, it's not like our redneck friend Ty is like, I don't think they care about CQC anymore, and they're probably going to remove it. I don't believe that. I believe that they do care about it, and they would like to get it fixed. I just don't think they have any devs doing it, so they're just putting together ideas. But I just thought I'd mention that.
That's what interns are for.
Yeah, that's
legit.
already who's working on CQC, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this was fun. So he definitely said in no uncertain terms that we can enter all of the buildings in these settlements, and there are things to do in some of them. Some of them are just places
Toilets.
to be and look around. Yeah, I'm sure there's a toilet somewhere. Good old-fashioned gravity-fed toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
Yes, those good plumbings. You don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about a gravity-fed toilet.
Well,
No?
this is only 0.3 gravity. You're going to have some doo-doo sticks swirling.
You can fix that. You can fix that. You just got to put the water tank up higher and develop more pressure, right? Just stack more water on top of it. Yeah, it's easy.
I go in my suit, dude. Always have, always will.
That's right.
That's going to be the first system Chig upgrades in his suit. The better poop sack.
The better pooper sucker.
For sure.
Bio waste collection
module,
unit.
like the advanced diaper.
Armored
Armored diapers.
That's
Armored
right.
bio waste containment
You
unit.
can engineer it to be stripped down, or
do you
drag drives?
Do you poop or pee in your suit? Depends.
Oh, guys.
Oh, no, not drag drives. No.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's right. It's like a vacuum. It sucks it right out of you.
It's the dirty drag drives, I'm telling you.
This has been a hell of a show tonight, guys. I'm telling you.
It has. All right. So I've only got.
Dirty drives.
Come on, that was a good thing. We can go into all the buildings, like, because that's basically the opposite of the stations where we can go into one freaking room, right?
With the stripped down diaper, be a G-string?
Yeah, it'd be a turd cutter.
Hey-o. Good grief.
It's fun because stripped down makes you think you'd use it for exploration, but that's when you'd want all that extra storage, wouldn't you? You'd be out there a long time.
Bro, I want to be aerodynamic. I don't want one of those big back doors.
There's compromises, man.
Oh, God damn it.
You're clunking your trunk, or you're trying to get around.
Stealth goes right out the window because they can smell you from a mile away.
There's no atmosphere.
You gotta get the shielded one, but it uses some of your battery.
Yeah.
There's a guy wearing a septic tank over there. Get him.
Just don't get too close to him.
Oh, God.
Don't hit him with explosives.
He's gonna
Giant
blow.
tube coming off your ass to a porta potty you're wheeling beside you. I like
That's a biological weapon.
There we go. Oh my God.
Okay, well, I guess that the poop stuff was way too enticing, and we totally missed any comments about how we can go into any buildings. So,
Because we're all 3 years old.
Great.
I blame you.
Fine. Hey,
I'll comment. It's good for immersion. I doubt that there will be
is.
anything interesting to do in any of these, but except for find a place to duck and cover when you're in the middle
Drip
of a fight.
Club.
But they did talk
Don't
about
tell Manitou, man. He'll go hurting himself trying to get to it.
when
For sure.
The mission video, they were talking about some of the other buildings. They said there's a command building you can go into where you can turn off alarms, and there's other buildings you can go into where you can try to find people and duplicate IDs. So I think there's going to be a fair amount of stuff I think you can do in these other buildings.
Okay, that's interesting.
right. They could have gone a different way with it, right? They could have vented the air out of that building instead of shooting those people, or they could have turned off the security alarm before they did that other piece, So they actually skipped a step, right? They could have turned off the alarm and then snuck into this other building, and then nobody chases them out of there, presumably, if they don't get caught.
Right.
So
The sad thing, I think, will be, 2 months into the game being released where people have figured out that, oh, you could just charge in with super maxed out shields and blow everyone away in 2 seconds and leave all their hard work
Right.
for nothing.
I hope not.
I mean, they essentially said, well, they said they tried that and they weren't able to do it. That doesn't mean it can't be done. But yeah.
It will.
Right.
The
Yeah,
players
but that's
will come up with interesting ways of completing all of these missions and ways to work around. And I mean, shit. I do planetary scan missions in my Corvette, so without
the difference
getting out of my ship.
The difference between the community guys and some of the most hardcore people in this game is night and day.
Yeah.
Truth.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
If there's an easy way to do something, they'll figure it out and make a video.
If that's your forte, right? You're gonna be able to pull off that version of the mission. So, cool, nifty. They also said that they are eager to show us the exploration in Odyssey and some stuff about POIs in the alpha, although there is no time frame on when a video about that will be ready to go. But it sounds like that's the next thing. So I would expect a video before the alpha. I don't know when, but I guess there's only 2 weeks left.
I would encourage them, if at all possible, to do it the same way they did this one. Because having them actually run the mission instead of some, dev diary PR piece.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd like to actually have them just have one of them stream them playing. And if they die, carry on and just show us them playing the game. That's what I'd like
at least give me the outtake reel.
I would say, that's, in my opinion as well, the only thing that could improve this is if it was actually just, okay, let's see what happens. But there's like a 0% chance of that, right? Because there are some things that are being worked on. They're not being, I do for one believe them that they are not being fed the most recent build, because that one's not, I don't know what you call it, compiled or running on a server somewhere or something. It's, so, they have a version that's buggier than the up-to-date version, and who knows. But and there's just too much they need to control. There's just things that, but basically everything that was edited out of that video, like the actual atmospheric entry and stuff like that, these are things that obviously they're not ready to show us, or they surely would have. So leaving some of it for on the day, perhaps. Or maybe something's not ready. It's one of the two.
Like you phase shifting onto your ship or whatever. Strategically left out.
Yeah. And I obviously like that stuff. I agree is like conspicuously seems like it's probably not ready. Yeah. I also have a lot of sort of subtle hope that there's going to be stuff in here that is never going to be announced that we're going to find.
I hope so. Yeah.
Because they've done that before. Mm-hmm. They talked up their big update, and then once it came out, it had this whole other thing, i.e. the Guardians and stuff like that.
Right.
So that was totally kept a secret. They don't have to tell us everything. They can, and that's fun. I don't know. I hope so, because I sure will be. If basically at this point, if they have teased everything, I'm going to be disappointed. Mm-hmm. So, and I think they realize that would be the case, right? If you come out with more than what you've promised, that's obviously the better position to be in.
That's never a bad thing.
I doubt that that's the case.
The biggest, most exciting surprise.
You don't think there's going to be like a hidden Guardians?
No. I mean, I don't think that they're talking about every single aspect of the game. It seems foolish to me.
I just want more module storage.
You're agreeing with me then?
Yes, I'm agreeing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. More module storage. Full. All right. We all agree. We quit the game if they don't increase module storage, right?
I would have bought the expansion just for more module storage.
You're a hoarder.
You drop the dir.
You're a horde?
No,
It
whore.
took me a second to absorb. Drop the dirt.
Drop the dir. He's a whore.
All right.
At least he admits it.
Yeah. Well, I'm self-aware. So,
Well, that's all I got for video and stuff. Any other comments about it all?
I hope we get something else next week we can talk about.
Yeah, I do too. I hope they keep this up.
Yes.
Sure, we're kind of in the stretch coming down to it here. So
Yeah, very excited for you guys.
I mean, we're going to have a ton on the 29th when the alpha launches and everybody and their mom is streaming. There's going to be so much stuff that people are going to find, discover, play through. So we're going to have plenty to bitch about. I mean, to discuss once the 29th hits. Our first show after the 29th anyway. We'll have plenty to talk about.
Right.
Until then,
yeah, my mom's going to be streaming for sure.
Your mom's a nice lady.
I wonder if I need to go out and buy a controller for the ground version.
Mouse, dude.
Mouse and keyboard.
Controller?
Man. What's wrong with you?
No, I don't like M&K.
Oh my god.
That's wow.
For FPS, it's the only way to fly.
No.
Mouse
too many years.
Yeah.
Too many years on a PS4. I can't do M&K for that.
Oh well. Let's PvP then right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you thought there was a tilt toward mouse and keyboard FA off flyers in ships,
no!
Wait until you get to.
I have no illusion. I have no illusion about the disadvantage that will put me at. But I'm not an M&K guy. I can't.
I don't know that the actual ground-based FPS is fluid where the benefits of having a mouse and keyboard really show up. Does that make any sense?
It may not. Yeah, and it may not be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the first person shooter aspect of this is not as polished as people who have been doing it for decades at this point.
Well, that's not what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean it's.
Oh, I see.
It's not designed to be a PvP first.
Correct.
game.
I mean, you're getting someone's first attempt at it, and it's going to be, from what we've seen, like, oh, that looks pretty good. It, like I say, it's no Titanfall 2 as far as fluid movement, where your split second reaction times because you have a mouse and keyboard will give you an advantage. Well, I don't know that you're going to really see that.
If there's unless there's some kind of aim assist, mouse and keyboard will outdo a controller every time.
That's true.
If there's some kind of aim assist involved in the game, then that levels the playing field considerably. But if there's any kind of aiming involved, mouse and keyboard will crush controller.
Oh, what if they got the gimbaled rifles?
Gimbal rifles. You're looking through the sights and it's gimbaled. Jesus Christ. I'd rather have like a shoulder predator cannon thing that pops up and starts shooting at stuff. That's your turreted weapon. Doesn't do as much damage, but you don't have to aim.
Even if it was
great.
Even if it was just the combat suit version of point defense.
Oh, you mean like the Iron Man gimmick where the little rocket launcher comes up over the shoulder? Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
More of that, please. Yes.
Just give us Iron Man suits. Fuck.
Or you're officially the Mandalorian.
3307. Give me an Iron Man suit.
Exactly. For sure. And battle mechs. I want battle mechs too. I'm really going to start pushing for everything now. I want this guy.
There you go.
I mean, that is actually something I've, I guess fantasize is the wrong word, but the idea that you could...
Not tonight, it's not.
Yeah, we're
tonight it is the right word.
Again.
But this is a safe space.
His pants are off.
You kind of wish you could have, I keep bringing this up as an example, Titanfall, that, your ship stays in space, you take a transport down to the ground, but you could also drop in some sort of mech that you have in your cargo bay. That'd be pretty dope.
I'd rather have my ship transform into a mech.
Now you're talking.
Go in there. Your landing gear turns into legs. Just a walking anaconda. That'd be the lamest thing ever. I love it. All right. So we covering this last stuff, the comfy cannon.
Yeah, that's right. So Comfy Cannon Cruise is going to be taken off on the 14th, just a couple of days. The Konsu carrier, which is Commander Mephisto's carrier, is in the Varadi system and will depart for the first waypoint on the 14th of March at 1500 UTC. There's a link in the show notes to a forum post with all the infos there.
Have they said how long it's going to take?
He expected something on the order of 4 months, I believe, is what he told me.
Wow, I actually expected longer than that. That's impressive.
It's a wide estimate, but yeah, this would certainly be the easiest and most comfortable way to do the entire Canon Challenge.
Yeah.
So
neat.
Yeah, hop on board. Man, I think that's it. I don't see anything else here in the notes. I'm looking as closely as I can. There's nothing else here, so that's the whole show.
I got a couple things I want to impart on my way out. For the PlayStation, why do I hear giggling already?
Because I was playing a joke on Chig, and then you just jumped in there and rolled right through like it wasn't happening.
Oh, my bad.
That's fine though.
It's good.
Do the funny thing.
No,
you go.
No. Chig's is for the end, man.
So to my PlayStation brethren, I'm going to be instituting permanently Saturday night get together. Whoever's available, hit me up. If it's one of the weeks I'm not available, get with each other. But Saturday nights on PlayStation, the squad is getting together, whether it be for shooting at each other or testing out your very light and easy to blow up Viper Mark III.
Racing.
Yep. One other thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if anybody out there is into indie board games like I am, but there's some cool space-based ones that if you're into Elite, you would probably like. I just got a copy of Moonrakers. That's pretty dope. If you got some friends who'd be into that. There's also Eclipse, Dawn of the Second Age. Anybody like board games?
Cool. Yeah.
Just me.
Man.
Get those in the show notes.
Definitely.
Chutes and ladders.
Yeah, Candyland.
Put some links in there, and they'll ship with the podcast.
Should we create another channel for board games?
Yeah, we should definitely make another channel.
I can't be responsible for that. No, if you like space stuff, like this game I got, Moonrakers, it's like Elite Dangerous in that you have a ship and you have to outfit it with certain modules to do certain tasks. And then there's this whole negotiation phase where you pick up a mission and then you try to get other people at the table like, hey, you want to help me do this thing? And they can stab you in the back or help you out, whatever. Anyway, it's lots of fun.
Rad.
Cool.
Well, he brought up. He brought up. Hold on. Now I'm cutting.
All right.
we haven't been. We got back from the expedition, so most people are back to the bubble now. So we can start doing some activities again. So we're going to start trying to plan some activities once a week or once every couple weeks in game. Like Nurgle suggested, I don't know what I ever did to him to suggest this, but everybody coming into CQC and just blowing me up, and whoever kills me the most times in the night wins something. But things like that, we're going to try to get going again. So just I thought there, and him mentioning racing earlier, that would be one. We haven't done any racing.
Yeah.
No, we need to do that.
Yeah, we definitely.
What is there's like one specific planet. I saw this in a Down to Earth astronomy video recently. What's it called?
I can't think.
Pamesh.
And this is it's got like very deep, very long running ravine.
Yeah. It's the deepest, bestest canyons. That's where we were hanging out at the Flight Assist podcast season 2 party. Did SRV, did Type 9 racing through that canyon because Ascorbius has he actually runs a web app that tracks people's progress. So there's even like a visual of the racetrack with the T9s and stuff. It's really, really outstanding.
Wow.
That's cool.
Not that we'll be able to do stuff like that. I don't know. I could beg him to turn it on or something, I guess. But anyway, racing is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd be obviously interested in hearing other people's ideas for sort of themed evenings to host.
We can do SRV football again too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was only a minor catastrophe.
Did you guys ever get around to doing it in a dish of a Coriolis, was it?
What?
What?
I feel like I heard someone talk about that, like the actual. Forget it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't think that's real, man. I think you
There's
dreamed
like-
that.
Peyote's not good, man. Stand
Yeah.
Whatever, Vato.
So,
all right.
so the gag was that Chig wrote in the notes in for real size 100 font the word cheese at the end because I kept forgetting it for like 4 episodes. So then anyway, that was the joke and it was blown. So I'm going to explain it. Yeah,
All right.
Anyway, go ahead. Cheese.
Cheese. What do you feed the Son of God? Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh,
And and the
Awful.
cheese of the week is smoked Gouda. We've done Gouda before, so I'm not going to explain it. It's a really, really good cheese, but smoked Gouda, if you like smoked things, oh my God, it's so good. Go eat some. Stay cheesy, everybody.
Seems good. Seems legit. All right. Well, thanks, Chig, Devo, Nurgle, and Hate. Hate had to duck out on us, but thanks for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for listening. This has been another about as good as it's going to get Loose Screws podcast.
Dirty diapers.
Dirty diapers abound. So, yeah. Thanks everybody for joining. And you guys want the Chig Chat rap for the ending music this week?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, there we go. We'll sign out with that. Keep it loose and screwy. Bye bye, and we'll see you next time.
Yo, it's Chig Chat. Durper, 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 Chig Chat. Durper, 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 where the cheese at? Durp, durp, durper, 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 Chig Chat. Durp, durper, 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 where the cheese at? Chig Chat. Where the cheese at? Chig Chat. That's all I got.
The fart sounds are the best part.
It's so much better with the background music.
Come
Good God.
in every time when I think it's going to end, and then he starts making the fart noises.
I didn't think that could be improved, and then he did it. Oh, God.
Thanks, Rabbi Bob. Good night, everybody.